Hi, this is Jan Hibbert from Log Cabin Leather, and I'm here for another session of my Maker Monday series. This week it's all about my leather leaf jewelry. Um, Again, and so here's a beautiful oak leaf necklace. So I'm going to talk about how I got started making the jewelry and things like that, what inspired it. So it really didn't start with the jewelry at all. This whole collection of with the leaves really started. Again, my love of plants started, I guess, back when I was in high school. A friend of mine, Mary Jane, or my sister Pam, and I used to go to a store called Mahoney's, which was a plant store, and we used to buy plants there all the time. That was just our go-to place. We loved to go. I'm not much of a shopper, but the plants, that was the one place that I would go and like to shop. Otherwise, like, department stores, clothing stores, that's not me. I could care less about that. But the plants was something I liked. Um, so we would go there. Um, I still have actually a couple of the plants that I've had from high school. I have my spider plant and a philodendron that I've had since high school. So I probably shouldn't say this, but they're over 50 years old now. That's as much as I'm going to say about that. I apologize for the background noise. If you watch some of my other sessions, you know I'm here in my workshop, which is in the basement of my log cabin home, and my furnace is running. Um, there was no heat in the basement at the current time, so it's a little chilly down here. But again, the furnace is heating upstairs, so it is running. So I apologize for that. But anyway, back to the leaf collection here. It really started again with my love of plants in high school and so forth. And then when I got to college, I took a course about identifying plants, which fascinated me. It talked about how you could identify plants by buds, how you could identify them by leaves, the bark, things like that. So that connected with me. And actually, these are posters I have from when I was back in college that I've used for all these years teaching. I actually have one somewhere that had the buds on it, which is actually my favorite because that really helps. So I got interested in that back in the college course. Again, I was studying to be a teacher, so and the science things were the things that really I liked best. And as a teacher, most of my themes related around science themes, the rainforest, the ocean, things like that, plants and trees. So we studied a lot about plants and trees, or we explored forests and things like that that we had around us, things like that. Um, so I love the leaves. Later, as a lot of people know, I work at Mount Kearsarge Indian Museum as a museum educator. So part of the education tour, we have what's called the Connect the Circle tour, which is an indoor and outdoor tour. The indoor tour, of course, is the tour of the museum, which is phenomenal. Again, it was rated one of the top 10 in the United States. Um, it's We also have the outside tour, which is called our Medicine Woods, where we take you into the woods and we talk about the plants. We take you through a walk. We identify different plants and trees. So we talk about identifying them. Again, depending on what time of year you come in the later fall, we're identifying the trees by buds, by the bark, things like that. So we're talking about different ways to identify them. And then we're also talking about the healing properties and the uses, building uses, things like that, what the Native American cultures use the different kinds of wood for. So that's where I started. So I started making a collection of leaves. Um, Again, a beech leaf. So this is about a real size beech leaf. Um, Again, it tells about the properties, the healing powers, how it would be used. So again, on this one, the wood is what the Native Americans would use for their building materials around here. The house, a frame of a birch bark canoe was made out of this. The snowshoe frame, a lot of things like that. The building, because it's a bendable, pliable wood, was used for framing of things. The bark was used to made into a powder and crushed, was used to treat burns and scalds, things like that. So the card that's on here tells some of the healing properties. That's what we talk about when we take the kids through the woods. We'll collect a beech nut and or I'll show them beech nuts and things like that. So we'll talk about the nuts from the trees too and how to identify those, which actually I didn't print down with me, which was one of my favorites, which is not one we have on the tour of the museum, but I have found, and again, I should have brought it. Maybe I'll bring it during my workshop. The sweet gum, and it's the little seed from that, which is like this little prickly round ball. And I do have one upstairs, and I found that somewhere. And A chestnut was another one I found somewhere with it that looks like a porcupine. I have that somewhere too. I'll have to get those out. And again, so that kind of fascinated me with the leaves, and that's just kind of been an interest. So with the museum and the tour, that really got me interested in some more. So I started making some of the shapes of the plants and things that we do on the tour. Like we talk about the red oak, we talk about the white oak. Again, oak is good to help with asthma and things like that. The oak, which is again where this ties into leatherwork, is the oak, particularly the red oak, which would not be that one. That is actually white oak. Red oak has the pointy leaves. Red oak, the tan is, there's more tannin in the acorns and the bark of the red oak, but the tannin is what's used to tan leather. And still today, the leather that all these products are made out of is vegetable tan leather, or primarily it's oak tanned leather. If you bought the leather, it was tan, over Texas way. It's called live oak leather a lot of times because the oak there, like around here we have sugar maple, and we have different kinds of maple around here. Around there they have live oak. So we have red oak, white oak at the Indian Museum. At my house I have black oak, which is again in the red oak family. So again, I tried to figure out what tree I had at my house here was different. It was interesting, and it took me a while because it's parts of each. Looking at the interior wood, even in the color, things like that. So all those things, used to identify them. So that's at first. It started with the leaf collection. So I have a catalpa tree, which again I'll post some pictures. This is something we have at the museum. And when I set up there at the powwow, which is our second weekend in July, I set up next to the catalpa tree, and it has these beautiful white flowers on it. So then I've taken some of my jewelry from that, which I'll pan around with the jewelry in a minute. I'm not going to pick it all up because I can't hold it all. So that's with a catalpa tree. That's actually one that's not specifically on the tour because it's not in the path that we go on. It is on our museum grounds. Again, we also have our arboretum, which we have over 100 different varieties of trees. We even still have like an elm tree and stuff out there. So that's where you can really go learn about other plants. That's a self-guided tour at the museum. And the Medicine Woods is open, anytime, self-guided tour. Obviously, this time of year, it's not safe to be out there in the woods. It could be slippery. So actually, so again, the jewelry collection stemmed from my interest in the plants and the leaves, my tours at the Indian museums and things like that. And then it just grew from there. Again, the shapes that I thought were interesting, of course, again, if you've listened to me before, I love colors. So fall being my favorite season, I wanted to do fall colors. So I have some fall sets here. Now, first I started with, again, the earrings and the necklaces were the first sets I started with. So that's a set there. But then I expanded into some other things, and I don't have parts for all of these, is the pieces for your hair. Again, so that's the stick for your hair. And the fall red oak, that actually matches this. Because again, red oak has the pointy leaves, white oak has the rounder shaped leaves. So they do have specific pieces that go with which. I have all sorts of catalpa here. I have beautiful maple. I'm going to actually take the camera now, and I'm going to pan around. Again, thank you for any of you who have joined me. I know a lot of people don't get the opportunity to watch these live, so I'd love for you to put in the comments replay and what time. Well, I guess it will show me what time you watch it, where you're watching it from, because that just helps me learn, and trying to figure out what times are better to post. I'd love to have people tell me about that. So see, here's my catalpa set. There's some white oak. That's going to be a white oak hairpiece. I have the white oak there in the summer set, I should say, and here's the fall set. And then one of my favorites really is actually the ginkgo. We have a ginkgo tree at the museum. Again, it's not something specifically we talk about because, of course, it's an imported tree. It wasn't native to this country. It came from Japan. But I love the shape of the ginkgo. I think they're stunning. And the dimension of them, and they just have a lot of texture. again, probably show up better against the, but those are beautiful. Here's the maple set, which again, my favorite being the hairpiece, the earrings, the three-piece necklace. Again, some have the three pieces. I do have the one oak here that has the two-piece. That's the only two-piece set I have like that. And then I have, the single leaf. Just like I did in the feathers, I have the 2 and 3 leaf sets. So that's pretty much what I have to share today. Again, I have the big leaves. What's nice about these, again, the leather is a natural product. It's biodegradable. It's not going to hurt the earth. The leaf, what I call the leaf trays, the larger leaves, are painted, well, they're all painted with non-toxic paint. These leaves, again, because if they're around children or something, they have a non-toxic finish on it that's natural. So, again, if a child put this in his mouth, or a dog or something like that, it's not going to hurt them. These were designed to, again, they could be trays for your jewelry or just, a junk tray to put things on for decorations at certain times of the year. You could put crackers and nuts and things like that, dry goods, foods in them, candies, things like that. So, it could be used for display. So that's where I made all the different leaves. I have one, which again, has nothing to do with the Indian Museum, really, not for this part of the country anyways, was the rubber tree. Again, when I was a teacher, we studied the rainforest, and the rainforest is dear to my heart. We used to raise money and stuff for the rainforest. I have a rubber tree upstairs. So again, based on real plants, based on, things. I don't usually put the information about the leaf in with the jewelry when I sell it, but I'm thinking if people are interested in that, I might. So again, it's pretty much all I have to say for today. If you're interested in purchasing any of these sets, you want to watch my Saturday edition of Spotlight Saturday. I believe it's going to be at 9 in the morning, I think, this week. Again, I've been changing the times up, and again, depending on what my schedule is, like I have to go to work in a little bit now. So trying to change up the time, see what works best for people when they can watch live. Some of these sets will be on sale. Last week I had some of the leather feather jewelry. I've got a couple of the sets left. Others have already gone. Best way to find out about any of this stuff is to get on my email list, or here if you're on Facebook, join me on Messenger. Click that link, join me. You get notifications when I'm going live, and then a reminder 5 minutes before. Usually one the day before or the morning of, if it's later in the day, things like that to remind you. But I will have the leaf jewelry on sale, and again, probably the fall jewelry, being it's off season, things like that. And so you'll have to stay tuned Saturday to find out how you can purchase those, because they're not going to be listed on my website for sale, because again, that's the part that takes me the longest time, is trying to list all this stuff. I have a new collection. My Paradise collection is coming out the end of this month. So again, if you want to find out about that, or you want to be in on the preview party and get a chance to purchase anything from that collection before it goes live on the website, stay tuned for one of my Maker Monday editions. I think next week I'm going to talk about that, an upcoming event. I am trying to get the events listed on Facebook page. Again, I didn't get this one listed really soon enough because I was having trouble broadcasting on Facebook. I think I figured out what my glitch is there, so I hope I'm all set now. So that's really all I have to share for now. Thank you very much. But again, stay tuned for Workshop Wednesday, where I talk about actually making the jewelry, the leaf jewelry, and on Saturday, when some of this leaf jewelry is going to be on sale. On Tuesday, enjoy my tool trivia post. If you post a comment there guessing what the tool is, the answer will be in the Workshop Wednesday video the following day. And then Friday, I have Flashback Friday, where I talk again about how I get interested in, or older products and things like that. Jewelry collection being one of my newer collections, I can't flash back all that far because I haven't been making it that long. So maybe I'll show you some of my plants and things from yesteryear. Thank you. That's all I have to say for now. Again, I'd love if people wrote in the comments. I know most people are watching it on replay and where you're from, what city, town, state, just to see who's watching this and how far you're coming from or listening from. If there's things you're interested in learning more about, please feel free to contact me. Again, Messenger is a great way to get a hold of me. or email, or, again, message, comment on my website or Facebook page rather. Sorry. My website is logcabinleatherbyjan.com. Pretty much everything is that same name. I also even have the .net. But in any event, thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate your support. I appreciate if you like this, share this with others. The bigger my reach can be, the more it helps me to grow. So I would appreciate that, even if you watch it on a replay. I appreciate that. They're also on YouTube. I do have all this on YouTube as well, if you prefer to watch on there. I honestly don't know how you find it on there. I think it's under just my name, Jan Hibbard. I'm not even sure how that works from the other end, to be quite honest. But thank you. That's all I have to say for now. You enjoy the rest of your Monday, and I look forward to you participating in the Tool Trivia and joining me Wednesday for Workshop Wednesday and Saturday for Spotlight Saturday once again. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of the week. Bye.